Traditional housing construction actually accounts for 39% of all CO2 emissions.
I started to look for different technologies that would allow me to remove human factor from the construction process.
Seems like we are moving into interesting direction.
We applied modern large language models to architectural designs.
As I grew up, I was dreaming of a home in the woods.
You can essentially use the subscription to build a home anywhere that you would like to live. When you're tired of living in a specific home, you can just disassemble it and assemble it in another way, like you do with Lego blocks.
Hi everyone, my pleasure to see you all again, and my name is Oksana Krykun. I'm the host of Seeds of Bravery podcast, and where we explore the journeys of promising deep tech Ukrainian startups. As I grew up, I was dreaming of a home in the woods, and I'm still dreaming of this home. But I got some truths about home building and house building that, according to the World Green Building Council 2023 report, traditional housing construction actually accounts for 39% of all CO2 emissions. And this is about the traditional methods of construction. And thankfully, now we have innovative solutions in the world. And in today's episodes of Seeds of Bravery podcast, I'm excited to talk with Andrew Ganine, the CEO of Briller House, a distributed manufacturing network focused on zero carbon modular homes. So, Andrew, my pleasure to meet you here. Welcome.
Thank you, Oksana, for a warm intro, and really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you and to discuss what we are doing at Briller House. And actually, we are really able to turn your dream into reality.
Awesome, because I still have a dream, and I would love to understand that this dream can be even more ecological and environmental friendly. And I think that a lot of people will have this dream too. And today, for those who are listening to us, we will dive into nuts and bolts of this business and of how Andrew built his own business, who are the team members, and much more. So stay with us and stay tuned. So, Andrew, the first question will be, who are the founders of the startup, where you are from, and what are your professional backgrounds as founders or co-founders?
Well, we are quite a versatile team and scattered across Europe. We have me in Ukraine, and I'm a lifetime founder with a number of companies under my belt, with a number of exits. And I was always doing things that I'm curious about. I love to connect things, and I love to connect different technologies, and I love to see the outcomes of this. My co-founder, Sigurd Larsen, is a well-known European architect. He has over 20 years of experience building beautiful homes in countries like United States, Greece, Germany, Denmark, essentially across Europe. And the third team member, Ilya, is our maker. He has over 15 years of experience building stuff locally in Ukraine for huge companies like Coca-Cola, Netflix, Luc Besson. And he was doing this for movies. He was building stuff for movies. And actually, what we do at Briller House has a lot in common with show business. Since we're not selling houses, we're selling experiences that people have when they live in these houses. And combining these three different backgrounds like architecture, entrepreneurship, and artificial intelligence, and actual making of things brings this idea to life.
Wow, it sounds really amazing, and that's really great that you have this versatile mix of experiences on a team, which can bring different perspectives, actually. So that's really great. And how did the idea of this project originate, and how and why it has evolved? Can you share, please?
The idea itself came from my personal decision to move from Kyiv to a countryside. At the moment, I'm living something like 150 kilometers south from Kyiv. It's a beautiful place, a beautiful community, but it looks a little bit neglected. So once I started living here, my idea was, what can I do to bring more life into this region, to bring more people here, to raise the economy somehow. I started negotiating with a well-known Ukrainian company about launching a hotel here, eco hotel, different small tiny houses scattered around the lake and so on. And when we were discussing this project, I realized that due to a number of factors like war, like economic situation, there are no people here, there are no companies here locally who could build these houses with a necessary level of quality. And that's why I started to look for different technologies that would allow me to remove human factor from the construction process. I was seeing the traditional construction methods, all this brick and mortar and a lot of dirt and a lot of stuff happening, like being a little bit outdated. And I always love to do things digitally. So what we came up with is a digital construction technology. Actually, the idea itself of cutting house parts on CNC appliances and then assembling them together is not new. This technology is being used by construction companies for almost 12 years already, mostly in United Kingdom and in Netherlands. On top of that technology, we added something that I brought from my previous experience in the artificial intelligence field. And we applied modern large language models to architectural designs. And eventually, what it allows us to do is to convert, I would say, any architectural design, any architectural sketch or idea to a set of, I would say, Lego blocks for the whole house. Something that you can assemble yourself or with a small team without any technical background, without any heavy instruments, just in a couple of days. And this will be a complete house with systems, with furniture, with everything. I was looking at this as a way to move from the old, dirty, and inefficient construction methods to something that is greener, more contemporary, and faster.
So, Andrew, how does a startup operate right now, and what its current stage of development and potential adoptions, which you are overseeing in the future?
So we are still at the very early stage. We are just testing our MVP at the moment, but still we already have a couple of paying customers and quite substantial customers. One company pre-ordered 30 houses to be built by our technology. Another company in Italy is looking for 7 houses. And at the moment, we attract customers through our website. We generate leads, and these are people or organizations who want to build some housing or maybe public spaces or office spaces somewhere in the world. And we discuss the project, we look at what they want to build, and we use our technology to convert their vision into these sets of Lego blocks. These blocks at the moment are being manufactured at our first hub in Ukraine. And for example, we will be delivering these blocks to Germany, we will be delivering these blocks to Italy, and so on. And that takes quite a lot of logistic operations. You have to find transportation, you have to find people, and so on. So instead of transporting these from Ukraine, at the moment we're looking into launching more hubs. For example, if we have an order for 30 houses in Germany, it would be cheaper for us to launch a manufacturing facility there in Germany to save on transportation costs. And actually, that will cost us cheaper than if we manufacture these in Ukraine due to taxes, due to logistics, due to customs operations, and so on. So for our future development, as I already mentioned, at the moment, we are looking to launch 3 more manufacturing hubs throughout 2025. And maybe up to 10 or 15 more throughout the next 2 to 3 years. So essentially, we want to have a manufacturing hub in every European country and then maybe expand to other territories in the world.
Thank you so much for sharing. And it sounds impressive, like 3 hubs right now to expand within the next year. That's just an amazing goal to fulfill. And I have a question about the sales strategy potentially, because you said that you already have clients abroad. Yep. Like, how did you reach them? What was your sales strategy then? If you are originally from here and, like you already had the previous enterprises which you were running, but all in all, how did you manage to sell abroad?
Well, it was an anecdotal story, actually, how we met with my co-founder, with Sigurd. And as I already told, Sigurd is also obsessed with this accessible housing in the woods or anywhere that you would love to live in. And he built a cool project, a very cool house, tiny house design for another company in Germany. The name of the company is Raus, and it's a startup. They are putting these houses at different places in Germany. The only criteria is that it is not more than 2 hours from large city like Berlin or Hamburg and so on. And they rent them through Airbnb and through their own network and so on. And when I was looking at these houses, at the design that they had, I love the design, and I feel that it is very in line with what I want to build here in Ukraine, in this local community. So I reached out to Sigurd, asking him, okay, Guy, may I steal your design for a project in Ukraine? He said, okay, I cannot let you steal this, but I have another design, and I also potentially have a customer who wants to build this design. And that's how the whole idea of manufacturing these in Ukraine and sending them to Germany came from. So it was a little bit of cheating. Yeah, we have this customer, quite an impressive customer, brought to us by one of our co-founders, and that was more of a personal relationship. But then the second customer that I mentioned, the guy from Italy, this was due to one of the demo days. I'm not sure actually if it was Seeds of Bravery or maybe some other demo days, some investor pitch that I was participating in. And actually, this customer came from an investor pitch, and he came to there as an investor. And at the moment, he is not investing into the company, but he wants to buy the product of the company. As soon as he is buying 7 houses only, it doesn't make sense to launch the whole hub there in Italy. But if we do well with this project, and if we continue with this, we already have connections through him in the manufacturing hub in Italy. You know this, how they call this in Italy, a place where manufacturing happens for different companies. I don't remember the exact.
Okay.
Industry park, industry park.
Uh-huh.
And so he is looking maybe to launch, if he likes the 7 houses and wants to continue, then definitely we'll be launching this. And each hub that we're building is quite cheap to launch. It costs only 50,000 euros to launch a single hub, and this hub pays for itself during 1 year. So actually, our customers become our investors at the moment, and this is something that I would love to explore maybe further when we're reaching to other countries and to other territories.
Awesome. So probably you can elaborate a bit more about the monetization model of a project and how much does it cost to use like your house, if you can share this info with us.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. In terms of building costs, we are on par with other traditional methods like brick and mortar or traditional timber frame housing or CLT panels and so on. In Europe, it's somewhere around 1 to 2,000 euros per square meter, including everything, including systems, including furniture, including facades, planking, and essentially a house that you can just enter and live in. At the moment, we are mostly selling houses by square meters. We get revenue from the number of houses sold, the number of square meters sold. But as we will be expanding our network, I'm looking more into maybe franchising model. But this will be really challenging since we already have this experience in Ukraine with putting too much trust in local manufacturers, which may not be aligned with company goals, as I mentioned before. So we're looking into this. But what I would love, as how I imagine the ideal monetization system for Briller House, is actually selling something like a subscription that allows you to live anywhere in the world and to have the house built to your taste, like in 1 week after you decide to move somewhere, if it
Mm,
makes any sense.
it's really great and interesting point of view for the future of housing, actually, and interesting how the trends are working on this market. And we will talk about this in a while, about the trends itself. So, why people are buying your houses, not like the other houses or from these other companies, construction companies?
There are 2 sides to this, and first are definitely the advantages of the technology. The cost is almost similar to a more traditional housing method, but you get the benefit of having a huge flexibility in terms of architectural designs, in terms of what you can be. Then you have a benefit of doing this very fast. we can cut a whole set of building blocks for a house in just 2 days, deliver it to your spot, and then in another 2 or 3 days you will have this house built either by our team, by our people, or maybe even by yourself. It's a great a weekend project for a family to assemble.
Like IKEA style?
Yeah, it's IKEA style, and you have everything that you need to build a house, from the timber frames, from the CNC cut plates, to pipes, to wires, to systems, everything cut to sizes, everything guaranteed to fit, and everything that you just cannot make a mistake, and it will not work when you assemble this. So this is essentially for people who want to do this DIY style. We sell these not as houses but as sets of these blocks. You can order this. It can be delivered through Nova Posta, through any postal service. You have this huge box with all the details for your home, and you can assemble it yourself. Or if you prefer a more traditional port, like a turnkey solution, definitely we will send people to assemble this for you and to just give you the key to enter the house.
Awesome. Awesome. Let's discuss a bit about the team behind the startup, because we know that there are 3 co-founders, and how many people are involved and who are they? And if you change the team over time when it was growing, like the product was growing.
As I was saying before, initially we were starting as a software-only solution, and the core team for this solution, these 3 people that I mentioned, me, Sigurd, and Ilya, it didn't change over time. But when we started producing real houses, working with real orders ourselves, definitely we needed more people to use as a manufacturing force. And this is at the moment one of the greatest challenges for us, both in Ukraine and abroad. In Ukraine, definitely due to the war situation, due to the lack of workforce, and also due to the location of our first hub, which is quite far from Kiev, and the people are different here. Some of them maybe not have these forward thinking, future vision, and so on. And sometimes it was quite difficult to find these people to work. So at the moment, we're 3 people working full time on the company. We also have 5 people working at our first manufacturing hub. And we have 3 people part time as our marketing team, doing some social media for us and so on. And the key challenge is definitely when we're launching a new hub is finding these people that will be working there, be it in Ukraine or abroad. And this is something that actually our participation in the Seeds of Bravery program helped us a lot, since we had these seminars and mentorship sessions on building the team, on building the right relationships and so on. And that was quite beneficial for me as a founder.
Thanks for sharing this. And let's talk a bit more about the development costs of your startup, and where did the funding came from. So share with us how you started, how you financed your startup, for all of those startups to be and to understand, okay, where I can start and where I can get funded.
Initially, until today, we are fully bootstrapped. If I do not count these grant funds that we received through the Seeds of Bravery program. So we didn't attract any investment yet. We are funded by the personal funds of founders and by these eternal 3 Fs: fools, friends, and family. And the cost was not too much to build the software solution, since I have this background in large language models, and the development costs are really low today. And actually, I would advise anyone who is afraid of starting something, at least do it in the software version, and then maybe you'll find funding for the real world version of it. Once we started launching the real manufacturing processes, then definitely we needed more money. And as I said before, the cost of launching one hub is around 50,000 euros. And the first manufacturing hub was partially funded by the grant that we received from the Seeds of Bravery program, and partially by our own money. But at the moment we are bootstrapped. We have these large orders from Germany, from Italy, and I believe that until we manage to raise our pre-seed round, this will be enough for us to provide the runway.
Got it. What about the fundraising? So, do you have a story about that? And did you do any fundraising in your startup?
We are just starting this journey. At the moment, we are at the pre-seed stage, and due to the nature of the business, I would say that for us it will be a little bit challenging, since typical European pre-seed round is something around 50 to maybe 150,000 euros, and we are aiming for 500,000. But we need this money not for the development cost, not for to pay for the software, not to pay for the marketing. We need this money to be invested into actual manufacturing hubs. So we aim to launch 10 manufacturing hubs throughout Europe for this money. But this puts a challenge for me, since it's quite difficult to explain to investors that we are talking now. What is the difference between this model of investing into different manufacturing facilities in different countries is not a regular one.
Hmm.
So this is something that at the moment I am trying to understand how to put this best to how to explain the value of this to investors. According to our calculations, according to our estimates, each hub should be paying for itself in less than 1 year. And I believe this is a very nice business to have, and this is a nice investment. But this is risky, since we are launching this from Ukraine, and we are targeting overseas markets, and we are targeting European markets. And there is a number of challenges to this. But anyway, at the moment, we are raising funds. So we're raising 500,000 euros. We call this pre-seed rounds, and this is the first round for the company, and we'll see where this journey will take us. Also, thanks to the participation in the Seeds of Bravery project, and thanks to these demo days that we were attending, we already have some traction. I already have a couple of requests from investors to share more information, and we are in the process of talking now, so it's rolling already.
Andrew, thanks for sharing that, because as people who are organizing those demo days, I mean, like me and my colleagues are always looking for the right people to add to the portfolio of investors and media, and to help you grow as a startup within those demo days. So to all of our participants, because you're listening to those, so you need to know about one of the non-financial support service which we have inside Seeds of Bravery. Those are demo days across different countries and across different industries. So when you are getting into our US Seeds project, you are not only getting only one acceleration program, but you have the opportunity to join different types of the events, such as demo days, to find new prospective clients or investors, as Andrew had. So this was an
And
inbound
matchmaking. Do not
and
forget the
matchmaking too.
matchmaking. For us, it was a huge opportunity also, since due to the thanks to the matchmaking process that you organized, we were able to talk to local governmental agencies, to local units, unions of cities, and so on. This is also huge for us.
Yeah, I'm more than happy also to share about this service, because this is kind of the changing one where our colleagues from other companies and other organizations, they are looking for the best potential partners and investors to connect you with as a startup. So hopefully it worked for you. And Andrew, like continuing the topic about the Seeds of Bravery. So what did you expect from the Seeds of Bravery project, and what you have got, which is kind of useful for you?
I had certain expectations, and mostly it was due to the fact that I have some previous experience with accelerators, like Booster, with coaching programs, and so on, in my previous companies and in my previous background. And actually, what I was expecting turned out to be mostly true in this Seeds of Bravery project, in the Seeds of Bravery program for us. Since first and the foremost, we were looking to ways to fund the launch of this first manufacturing hub, and an opportunity to get the grant funding was a huge help for us. But once we got into the program, and once we knew the schedule of funding and so on, once we started exploring these non-financial services, I would say that this was more important to us than the funding actually that we received in the program. And exactly due to these matchmaking activities, due to the demo days. Since for us as an early stage company, we have a great product. We have industry-ready product. We can sell it. We have customers for this product. But what we really lack is first and foremost the background of the building the team that is able to access these, I would say, huge goals that we see that we envision, and then the technologies and the how do you call this? The visibility of the company. We have a great idea, we have a great product, but in order to have some traction, we definitely have to put this idea and to put this product into some lights and have some eyes watching this. And this was a huge help, hands down. Thank you, Seeds of Bravery. It was amazing.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing this because, like we are all doing that so that you can proceed with what you are doing and you can succeed in that. So that's really great to hear that. And let me ask several last questions. And the almost last one will be about how do you envision the future of your niche you're operating in? And what adoptions, trends are going on in this sphere of this house construction?
Idea, the problem that we were solving. Actually, there are two problems that we are solving, and one relates to what we leave to our children, like what kind of world they will be living in. And this problem is the carbon footprint that the traditional housing is doing, the harm, these deposits of carbon, and so on. So we wanted to launch a construction project that would store carbon instead of generating this. And in terms of the product itself, in terms of how this housing will be approached and will be used by new people, I believe in this idea of housing becoming flexible, localized, and on demand. So, as I mentioned before, this idea of having a subscription, but instead of using this subscription to rent a home, you can essentially use the subscription to build a home anywhere that you would like to live. And then maybe to update this home. Another huge benefit of our technology is that when you're tired of living in a specific home, you can just disassemble it and assemble it in another way, like you do with Lego blocks. You can change rooms, you can change the exterior and everything else. And this will be much cheaper and much faster than if you do this through traditional methods. And also the new generation, I believe they are not tied to specific places. They are not locked into specific places. They want to move and they want to have a specific level of certain level of comfort anywhere they go. And achieving this in a rental property is hard, but I envision that having a house that you can take anywhere with you, not literally, but having this house disassembled in one place and then assembled exactly like this in another place, I believe this is something that the future of housing will look like.
Thanks for sharing all of that. So seems like we are moving into interesting direction where everything can be personalized and made in a better way than before, even in housing, in such a traditional industry as housing. And Andrew, I have a very last question for all of the startups and to be startups who are looking to start their own business. What is a single piece of advice you would recommend to a startup to pay attention to?
Well, something that comes to my mind instantly is start today. You do not need to do a lot of planning. You do not need to do a lot of mind games. You need to take specific steps and find mentors, find people who are already doing this and who can maybe show you your mistakes, accent what you are doing wrong, what you are doing right, and help you on the way. Maybe not financially, but at least with a word of advice. So yeah, these are two things. Start today. It's never too late, and it's never too early to start a new project. And find, if not a team, but at least find great advisors on your way. The team will come if you have the right direction.
Thank you so much for sharing these inspirational words with our startups and startups to be. Thank you so much, Andrew, for being with us here today and sharing your wisdom and your progress within not only Seeds of Bravery project, but within all of your endeavors. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Oksana. It's a pleasure talking to you, and thank you for the opportunity with the whole program.
And thank you, dear listeners, that you were listening to our podcast. And I would love to tell you once again that Seeds of Bravery is a 20 million project funded by European Union under the European Innovation Council to support Ukrainian tech startups and to bring them closer to the EU markets. So stay with us and subscribe for more information and great podcasts under the Seeds of Bravery, different platforms like the podcast platforms as well as YouTube. See you then.